So yeah, he stood up to the devil and he gave a reason why he wasn't going to do that, which is important, I feel, in the mental space of how we can do similar things. And first, it kind of goes on the principle that firstly we have to think for ourselves, and we have to train the mind to be this one directed stream of thought which we can push forward in the direction that we want to go in. Or else we'll just get lost. And then it also brings in that aspect of the heart's desires, which could be termed as sin, depending on what the desires are. And then it uses that stream of thought to go against the will of Satan, the desires of Satan. So when he comes to you in whatever way that might be, in a feeling of, oh, I want to do this, and it's something that's maybe not so good, then you can put that thought against it that you've trained in your mind and say, no, I don't want to do that because I know better than that. And in doing that, you're overcoming the adversary, and you're taking full control and responsibility of your own life. And with that, possibilities are endless, because the more responsibility you have of your own being, then God's going to bless that, because he sees someone who's capable, who can deliver. And if you have someone who isn't capable of their own being, then God isn't going to bless that person and give more to them. Because what if he does? Let's say God gives some loads of blessings to someone who can't control themselves. Well, they're just going to go and waste that, or they're going to go and do the wrong thing with it. So the best thing we can do is prepare ourselves. But I did just have another thought. See, my mind's completely blank now. I've lost, I had something I wanted to say, but I've lost it. So now there's no thought in my head. I'm just present, I guess you could say. And for the majority of the time, walking through nature, that's a blessing. But when I'm recording a video and I want to speak and say something, it's not so much of a blessing, because I end up just standing in front of the camera going but I'll leave that one to God. I'd say it's important to chasten the mind and to keep the mind focused on something that is outside of this reality. because then the possibilities are endless. If you focus our mind on something within this reality, then you might get there and you'll be like, oh well, I'm here now, what next? And you have to keep redirecting your course, and who knows what direction you're going in. Before you know it, you'll be going left and right, back on yourself. You'll be going around in circles, chasing different ideas from time to time. But if we put our focus completely into God, external from this world, then we know that we will always be focused on something that isn't changing. It's always fixed and certain. So whether it's summer or winter, or it's in the morning or the afternoon, we can take comfort in the fact that we're working towards something which has a pattern. The specific pattern that I have in mind is possibly the golden rectangle. If you have a look into it, it's oh, that's sharp. It's like the way that nature works, like the Fibonacci sequence, I think it is. It's when you see a pattern, no, not a pattern. Well, it's basically the pattern that God works in with nature. When you see like a plant blooming and it goes around in that like spiral shape, it's basically just what everything, it's the shape that everything moves in. It's a tough one to explain, but it's a very sacred pattern, that's for sure. So I don't want to end it just yet because I haven't finished my walk yet. Obviously the mind is very powerful. Just don't try too hard, I'd say. I think at times I've tried too hard to make some sort of progress, to do something, and I get too objective and too forceful with it, trying to do something, and it doesn't work. It's like there's like a certain amount of pressure you have to apply to life, and then beyond that it's like it's just too much, because then at that point it's not life, is it? You don't have to work that hard. You have to work hard because life is hard, but there's ways and means of doing things, and there's patterns to follow, and there's just times where you just need a bit of patience. It's a bit of like give and take, push and pull. Put a bit of effort, put a lot of effort into something, take a break, see how it bounces back, and then go again. But there has to be some sort of push for there to be a pull, etc., etc. That is probably as much as I've got to say right now about the mind, given the fact that my mind is empty now. I mean, that's probably the best thing I can speak from. My mind is empty, my mind is quiet, my mind is peaceful. Just don't listen to anything what I've said. Just like copy what I've got and paste it into your situation, and you'll have peace. It's a long process, obviously, but sometimes I think you've just got to be a bit crazy and just do radical things which purify your existence. There's loads of information out there. Guess it's just about knowing what's right and what's wrong. And I think experience helps a lot. Actually doing something has gotten me much further than just learning about something. I travelled to India for 6 months. That helped me a lot. I've had experiences with psychedelic substances. At the time, that helped me a lot. I've journaled. That helped me a lot. But then in between that, I've learned so that I know which direction to head in. But then it's important to head in that direction, or else it's just ideas. And at the same time, if you just have ideas and you just learn and don't put it into practice, and again, it's all ideas. It's just ego. But you really do have to take some risks, because we all have ego, and it takes a lot of work to shed the ego, because oftentimes what the ego has to do to remove itself is put itself into difficult situations. So that it doesn't take itself so seriously. It's like, if you have the thought that you feel someone wouldn't like, tell them. Because then you destroy that egoic part of yourself which was holding on to that fear. But if you keep it to yourself, then that's the ego building. So the ego, in a way, as I've experienced it, I'd say, is just these parts of that we don't want to express, that just stay under the surface. So if and where possible, I'd say it's good to just get it out there, put yourself in situations where you can express yourself and express yourself, but then know when you've gone too far and know when to tone it back a bit and to look to God for direction, because that self-expression can turn quite easily into self-indulgence, and you can lose yourself quite easily. But I'm back on the main road anyway, so I'll end this here. Maybe I'll do another one of these soon. Adios.